Welcome back to our Backstage Whataburger Studios. My name is Nick Russo. It's 10 Man Jam 2017. It's my pleasure to finally get to sit down with one of the men who had maybe the biggest year ever in 2017, Cody Johnson. How are you, my friend?
Doing good. How are you, sir?
Doing great. Great to sit down with you finally, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So I've seen you. I've announced you to come on stage for the last three and a half years or so, and very rarely do we get to sit down and actually have a chat. And I know you could tell us stories for days over the last year, but if you were to sum it up, how has 2017 been for you, man?
It's been really fast. I actually just had this conversation with somebody today. I said I really don't remember a lot distinctly about this year because it was Houston Rodeo, it was Austin Rodeo, it was San Antonio, it was the Grand Ole Opry. It was, like I said, I could sit here and tell you. And I hold in regard the same way, like those clubs that we'd never played across the country, from New York to L.A. to all the way up to Canada, that only hold 750 people. Like, that was just as big of a deal to us because we're out there busting our tails and earning it and getting in front of people, really just basically grassroots style. So it was all kind of fast, man. It all kind of ran together, but what a hell of a year.
I'm telling you, man, I follow you pretty closely on Instagram and Twitter and stuff, and I would see you post those, or you'd see the pictures about the events in Salt Lake City or these random little Wyoming or Colorado, and I was like, man, like I try to put myself in that audience, what it's like, and then think about you on stage. Like, what is the reaction from the fans like all over the country?
It's been nuts, and it's been something. It's such a, it's easy. This is a really easy business, I think, in my perspective, to get burned out on because it is a lot of repetition. It's kind of like a circus. You show up, you set it up, you play the show, you tear it down, you go to the next one. But, man, when you're showing up and you keep an humble mindset about it and you're in places that you've never been before and these guys know every word to every song, you're going, holy cow, man, like, this is nuts. It's like mainlining adrenaline in a 400 capacity room. I swear to God, it's been great. I've been so thankful, and my crew and my management and my band has been working their tails off as well. So
now, over the last few months, because so many of us have heard your name for so long, and as you start to have this sort of, as I call it, a meteoric rise to superstardom, that's where I think you're headed. And I meet so many people who, they're your best friend. They know you their whole life. And we're neighbors. And, I grew up next to him. Oh, he was down the road. So I've heard stories that you were a roper, and I've heard stories that you worked at the prison. And I would like to know, like, the truth behind both of those stories, if either of them are true.
The truth is I rode bulls for a while, and I actually just wrote a song a couple of days ago with my buddy Dan Couch called Dear Rodeo, and it was about all the things that you'd wish you could have done and said to Rodeo if she was a woman. So it was like, so I've kind of got that past, and I wrote now some. I almost cut my finger off last year. It's a whole completely different story. I ride cutting horses now. I did work at the prison system, but ever since I've met my manager and my wife close to around the same time, I've never looked back. This is my life. This is no matter if it gets any bigger, no matter if it doesn't. I don't really care. I'm going to keep working hard.
Well, would you hear comparisons to Garth Brooks and George Strait? And I know I've heard them, man. I've talked about you to people, and these are the things that people tell me. How does that sit with you? How do you digest those kind of compliments?
I don't know. First of all, I don't know how to take that because I hold those men in such high regard. I really appreciate the compliment, and I hope that there are some parallels. I mean, fingers crossed, I hope there is. But I don't know how to take that. I'm one of those guys, man, I don't really pay attention to social media. I really don't pay attention to what numbers. I don't pay attention to the financials until it's time to sit down every month and handle my business. But I try to keep my blinders on, stay focused just like an athlete, stay focused on what I do, and try not to let anything get in the way of that.
Well, man, we couldn't be happier to have you here for 10 Man Jam. We couldn't be happier for all your success. What's next for the Cody Johnson Band?
To keep pressing. I think, just like I said, just like an athlete, it's always to be better. It's always to up your game. Set the bar, try to outdo your bar, and wonder how the heck am I ever going to top that again, and keep pressing, keep trying to reach new horizons, and better music, bigger shows, better shows, just everything that I'm not turning back now. I'm all in, so we'll see what happens.
I love it, man. Well, this is the biggest one-day country event of the year. We put together 10 of the biggest shows, or 10 of the biggest acts for this show, and when I look back over 2017, there's undoubtedly you, even everybody on this lineup has had such a great year, and you've really been just top of mind all year long.
Well,
so we can't be happier to have you here.
Man,
so,
thanks.
Yes,
I
sir.
looked at the lineup and I went, so what time do I go on? And they said, you're in the set with Lee Brice and Gary Allen. I went, well, y'all could have told me that. You could have told me that. I didn't know that part. So I'm very honored to be here. Very honored to be in the place, man.
Man, it's a blessing to have you here. This is Cody Johnson, our Backstage Whataburger Studios with 100.3 The Bull at 10 Man Jam.